suffering from because of the gun violence. So it's just my hope that, with us declaring it, the county declaring it, that we talk about how we're going to use our resources to address this. And it's not just the resources that are coming from the American Rescue Plan dollars. Because I want to share with council, my concern is all those dollars are coming to deal with the effects, not the cause. The effects of the structural institution. We get through this serious to the police issue. Because the police issue deals with some of the outcomes of this. So it's just my hope that before we get through this month, we plan to meet with our colleagues on council, as well as ourselves. We've got these different committees. We need to have a strategic plan to address this because, as we all know, summer is coming and it's going to get hot. And I'm not talking about the weather.
Thank you, Councilman Neal. That concludes our new legislation. We'll now move to the portion of our meeting that we refer to as our public comment period, and our clerk will play messages received.
My name is Michael, and I'm watching a video that was filmed very recently with a firefighter from the Akron Fire Department, Engine 6, spray somebody in the public who was on the sidewalk. It looks like he sprayed him simply because he was a journalist. It didn't appear that the journalist was doing anything aggressive or untoward or anything to disturb whatever it is that the firefighters seemed to be doing. They were spraying down the sidewalk, it looked like, or a driveway of something for whatever reason. But to have a bystander there and they spray them down, even if the bystander, the person who was filming, the journalist, even if that journalist was misbehaving, spraying him with the fire hose is not how that's dealt with. But like I said, it didn't appear that there was any misconduct at all on behalf of the journalist. So I guess that I'm wondering what can be done, and how further training can be adopted into your department's policy about journalists and about people filming in public. Even if this guy is not a journalist and he's just a bystander with a cell phone, it makes no difference. We have the right to film in public. We have the right to film public employees doing their work. We have the right to film and video anything that we can see with our eyes as long as we are in a public area. And I didn't see any harm at all. I'm really appalled at this sense of entitlement that firefighter had. To feel that he could spray somebody down, and the others that are around, it appears that there's two other firefighters there. If one of them was a supervisor or a truck captain or something like that, should have dealt with that immediately, including a very aggressive apology to the bystander, and dealing with that and stopping that firefighter from doing that. So I'm hoping that this action is taken seriously. I'm sure that you can find this on this video on YouTube. And anyway, yeah, disturbing to see. Thank you for hearing me out. And like I said, I hope there's some resolution.
Hello, my name is Andre from Vermont. I want to say that hosing someone with a water cannon is a criminal act, period. It is assault with a weapon, simple assault with a weapon. Thank you, and I hope you act accordingly and fire that guy. Bye-bye.
Hi, this is Teresa Williams. Calling back, you guys didn't get to hear the rest of my statement. When there was a total, he said it was 15 cops right there on him, Caucasian cops. 3 to 5 of them was stumping him, kicking him, punching him, you know, and there was one that's on the witness statement. It states that one of the Caucasian officers had his knee on my son's throat, the identical way of George Floyd. The witness got the officer off of my son, and he didn't get arrested, the witness. That is because they know they were wrong. My son had the cuts on his face. We're dark-skinned. My son's face is swollen, 2 black eyes, cuts, meat gone, skin gone, and his whole entire face was the color of green, red, and blue. And that means bruising. And when I called the Summit County Jail to check on him, they said he had a lump in his back. And that was told to me by a sheriff. So my main thing is we want the video cameras. We want the dash cam and the body cams. Because, again, they were on until the cop told them that was beating my son, man, your body cams. So we have to get this together. And when I say we, I mean all of us. I would like for you guys to see the body cam and dash cams, and I would like to see the body cams and dash cams. I would appreciate that deeply. This is not right, and it got to stop. It must stop. Thank you. There was one more thing. I think I did say it when you guys listened yesterday when they had him alone and said they should have shot him. Let's all look at the dash cams and body cams together. How about that? Thank you.
Hi, you're a firefighter that sprayed a citizen. I don't want the guy to get fired or anything like that, but that's ridiculous. That citizen pays his salary, and for him to have that little bit of respect for citizens is outrageous. He should be fired, but unless he changes his attitude, I think he all should make sure that that happens. Thanks, bye.
John Wesley Sharp, attorney and counselor at law, 730 Callis Drive, Suite 1201, Akron, Ohio, 44311. 330-773-4586. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Chosen people, brothers and sisters, we are God's chosen people. We are the most systematically oppressed people in the New World. Oppressed in politics with the rolling back of our voting rights. Oppressed in criminal justice. Oppressed in housing. Oppressed in employment. Oppressed in education. Oppressed in banking. Oppressed in healthcare. Oppressed in armed forces. Oppressed in news. Oppressed in entertainment. And oppressed in sports.
We are oppressed in every area of modern life. What is your proof, you say? Where are your statistics, you say? Look it up, I say. We are oppressed because of their fear. We are afraid. Fear of our potential for moral authority and leadership. Brothers and sisters, you have the blood of kings and queens running through your veins. Brothers and sisters, you have the blood of kings and queens pulsing through your veins. Brothers and sisters, because of our oppression, pain, and suffering, God will set us on high. And then, He shall make us to lie down in green pastures and lead us beside the still water.
This is Jody Grass, grade 699 Weber Avenue, Akron. Do you know what a carbon trap is? I didn't. Just like when it first started making headlines, I didn't know what the fracturing process of removing gas from the ground was, now commonly known as fracking. I had to read up on it. Remember, you stopped the administration from fracking at Ladue, who already harvested large trees at the same site. So what is a carbon trap? It's just as important a term to know as fracking. Trees are carbon sponges. Over the course of 25 years, a single maple tree can sequester or remove about 400 pounds of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide in our atmosphere is why we are experiencing climate change. One reason that the Cuyahoga River and the valley are getting 7 inches more in rain than it did in the 1960s. One reason why Akron Peninsula Road is closed: erosion. Tice Woods, while not just tree-covered, plays an important role in sucking up carbon dioxide since it has lots of trees and is the size of 33 football fields. That is why so many residents urge the city to choose conservation over development at Tice Woods. Preserving green space is a real way to address climate change by trapping carbon. You just hired a consultant at the price of $100,000. Doug Farr's philosophy is centered on the notion that the world needs to change, and we are the ones to initiate it. Change should start with the end in mind, and that end is carbon neutrality. You need carbon traps to help get to carbon neutrality, among other changes. Farr goes on to ask, how can we get there? By working together, by holding ourselves accountable, by modifying our habits, shifting the industry, and ultimately redefining our conception of beauty to include health, happiness, and equity. You have hired Mr. Farr for $100,000. You have the ability to grow Akron differently and lead us down a better path. Seize the moment while we still have time. Conserve Tice Woods for all the right reasons. Grow in Akron, not out of Akron. For more information, please see the Tice Woods brief sent to you by Preserve the Valley. Thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Bill McCourt. I live at 800 Hardy Road. I respectfully request the Akron City Council to support the conservation of Tice Woods. Tice Woods is forested. It helps protect the tributary headwaters of the Cuyahoga River and provides habitat for wildlife. Tice Woods would be a wonderful enhancement to Akron's investments in the open green areas of the reclaimed landfill and mountain bike trail. I understand the City of Akron's desire to provide attractive housing developments for its citizens. Developing a natural area in old growth forest and privatizing it to a limited number of homeowners would not be in the best interest of attracting people to live in Akron. It would lose the very natural area that is currently part of the attraction to the mountain biking area in Akron. Development of Tice Woods would congest and degrade what is now part of a green public retreat. Neither Tice Road nor Hardy Road could support the additional traffic that would come with development of Tice Woods. It would turn into a high accident area. Thank you for your consideration of conserving Tice Woods.
Yes, my name is Harrington Hargrove. I live at 1008 Laurel Avenue, Akron, 44307, Ward 3. And my concern has been that the Akron Zoo paid nothing for its water and sewer services right up until 2019. And for 3 years prior to that, the city paid $345,912 a year for that service, a total of $1,037,000. In 2019, Mayor Dan Horrigan insisted they pay 25% of the $345,912 for their water services. Why is it that the animals in the zoo are more important than the black community? Also, the city of Akron has invested over $100 million in the Opportunity Park and Canal Place, which is in Ward 3. Also, the city of Akron has invested in the Edgewood Homes, which is in Ward 3. Also, the city has invested in the Diagonal Road Housing Project, which is in Ward 3. Also, the city has invested over $1 million in the Dave Walters dealership, which is in Ward 3. James Hardy has stated that the black community has been excluded from opportunity. The black community in Ward 3 has been redlined and excluded from economic opportunities. When will this practice end? I'm asking that the city to look into this matter closely. I've been asking the city to invest in Ward 3 for quite a while. So please, Council, look into what's going on in this community. And not only Ward 3, but the black community at large. Where's the equity in how you allocate funding? So what I'm asking from the city, which I always do, is to be fair with the black community. So please, Council, look into that, and also give a plan that is going to do something to uplift the black community instead of always putting us on the back burner. This is my request, that you, and I ask Council to please look into the matter that I am speaking about. It is very important to the black community, and I wish that you would. Thank you very much, and everyone have a wonderful day. Bye.
Good evening, this is Nick from Ward 1. First, I find it quite unsavory that a single council person addressed Miss Williams' powerful and moving comment about her son last week. When a citizen of Akron comes forward with a story about Akron police brutalizing black individuals, I would hope this council would show a little more respect and human decency. Do black lives actually matter to any of you, or do you just say that for clout? Was reimagining public safety nothing more than a PR stunt for the city? Did y'all waste 6 months of our time just to end up not caring about black Akronites who face racial profiling and racialized police brutality? This is shameful. I'd also like to address Councilman Fusco's comment from last meeting. The fact that Ward 1 has no real representation in city council meetings is anti-democratic, plain and simple. I did not vote for Councilman Fusco. I would not vote for him regardless of if he communicates with Councilman Swirsky. His support for the Ladue fracking bill, which his own campaign contributors would have directly benefited from, is evidence enough that he does not represent my views as a citizen of Akron. Again, it is blatantly obvious that Ward 1 needs actual representation on council during these meetings and votes. Touching on the $153 million the city is slated to get in COVID relief, I again implore you all to not let this money disappear into the general fund. Briefly glimpsing at the breakdown of CARES Act dollars the city received, roughly half of the $22 million in relief aid went to the Akron Police Department, while our neighbors struggled with evictions, utility shutoffs, food insecurity, lack of child care, and loss of income. Funneling exorbitant amounts of relief aid into the police department does not make us safer, and in fact may have the opposite effect, considering you are foregoing getting meaningful relief to those who need it most. That $10 million could have helped so many people, but instead was wasted on policing and brutalizing our citizens. Again, the Serve the People Akron is asking for dumpsters and regular trash service at all Akron area houseless encampments. We will bag and remove trash, but we desperately need assistance. We are doing the hard work, and all we are asking the city to do is pitch in just a little bit. It is blatantly obvious y'all don't care about the houseless when we can't even get help on bulk trash pickup. And of course, the tax abatement. It is redlining 2.0, plain and simple. Council would do well to immediately rescind it and replace it with a more equitable and fair policy. The city of Cincinnati has the same exact tax abatement and is being sued in a class action lawsuit under the Fair Housing Act. I will have research out in the coming weeks that shows Akron is perpetuating the very same racist redlining and segregation practices. Thanks and have a good night.
Hi, my name is Vibhushan Kumar. I'm from Tiger Falls, Ward 8. I'm calling on behalf of Serve the People and the work that we are doing with the community out there. We're volunteers, and we up to help the community out there, and we have been asking for City Council to help us out in picking up the trash that we did and taking it to the proper area, the dumpsters and whatnot, and we have not been getting the proper service and assistance from City Council, and I'd just like to keep bringing that attention up to Posse, get help and find a Posse relationship to make sure that the trash that we're able to pick up as citizens gets picked up through the services of the city. On the second note, I'd also like to continue bringing attention to the issues that we're talking about last week. I've heard about the AHAMA issue about the hot water, and then Miss Williams called to police brutality on her son. I hope those issues are being taken with seriousness by City Council, and I hope to keep following up on those issues to make sure that those citizens are finding the needs to their issues. Thank you. Bye.
Hello, my name is Ryan Keene. I was born in Akron and I'm a longtime resident of Ward 10. I'm a member of About Face Veterans Against the War and Serve the People Akron. I'm looking forward to Councilwoman Samples continuing to follow up on answers for the houseless community. According to the Akron Beacon Journal, CSX notified both the mayor's office and the Akron Police Department on February 10th about the illegal encampment sweep at Grace Park on February 17th. Who was notified in the mayor's office and APD on February 10th? Why wasn't City Council notified? Why wasn't the houseless community surrounding Grace Park notified or the properly posted notifications at Grace Park? Have any council people or anyone from the mayor's office or the Office of Integrated Development visited the numerous encampments throughout Akron to reach out to these citizens and listen to their conditions and lived experiences on why housing programming should not require 21 religious services a week, separate families, separate pets, separate partners, and other outdated archaic protocols? Tax abatements are modern-day redlining. The city of Cincinnati is currently being sued for discriminatory housing practices for the same tax abatement. Magistrate Tao has said that there are over 100 plus evictions per week in Akron, and Akron has the highest eviction rate in Ohio. Rent in 2000 was $483 a month. Rent in 2019 was $816 a month. Rent is up 53% since 2000. Income only up 29%. On March 27th, some of our houseless friends from the tent encampment communities led a community day with breakfast, lunch, and approximately 2 to 3 tons of trash bagged, collected, and piled neatly for the city of Akron bulk pickup with solidarity from Serve the People Akron. Mayor Horrigan and all members of City Council have been notified multiple times starting March 27th, and as of this morning, April 5th, there's still no trash services for our houseless friends. Councilwoman Samples said they are working on it this morning. The homeless encampments, currently at least 10 encampment sites and growing, need trash and sanitation services as human beings and citizens of Akron. Why does council completely ignore citizens and concerns on the public comments, such as Miss Williams' horrendous story of police brutality about her son? And all we heard was crickets to the response. What about Mr. Green and all of the citizens at the AMH downtown Akron, the Mayflower Manor for low-income, elderly, and disabled folks with no hot water for over a year? What about Mr. Nesbitt asking for a drop box every week for months? Crickets. It's systemic. And that firefighter needs fired immediately.
Hi, I am polyamorous Mariah Treehugger. I can be reached at 206-330-1273. Happy Earth Month. Let's colonize 2021. I'm calling on behalf, well, I'm also a houseless person living in Akron and around Akron. So they'll be trying to chat my location because guess what, honeyboo? As a houseless person, I be living in Akron, in Freeman, in Kent, in Stowe. I live around wherever I can get it. And guess what? I'm also working with Build Hammer City, the Black Hammer organization, to house all Black and other colonized people of color on Turtle Island, a.k.a. this is Turtle Island, a.k.a. this colony, this illegal occupation of colonized Turtle Island. Oof. Anyway, I'm calling because I'm calling to support. Y'all need to, excuse me, schedule regular trash pickup and recycling pickup for these homeless encampments. Y'all need to do that. These houses people need to have trash pickup. They need to have recycling pickup. And it's Earth Month, so get on it. Also, children have the right to know who their biological parents are at any age. So these adoption agencies withholding information and blah, blah, blah. Literally, by y'all lowering Akron's municipal voting age to 12, that would be the best way to begin to respect to respect the suffrage that everyone has a right to, and to begin to eliminate barriers to suffrage. Akron, Kent, Streetsboro, but since y'all the Akron City Council, I'm going to address y'all specifically. Akron needs to lower its municipal voting age to 12. I could humbly request that y'all lower the Akron municipal voting age to 16, but other cities have already done that with voting. So, again, I am polyamorous Mariah. I am a houseless person advocating for Build Hammer City, and y'all are welcome to donate some funds to that. We have raised about $65,000.
Hello, my name is Elise Sabo. I live in Kent, Ohio, and I've been working with the Serve the People Akron mutual aid group recently. And we've been doing some cleanups around encampments where some of our houseless friends are living. And we're hoping that the city would consider having sanitation services there, like porta potties and different, dumpsters, because our friends want to live in clean spaces, and that would go a long way in helping them keep those spaces clean and keep the parks and such looking nice. Additionally, I know that there are a bunch of evictions happening in the city. I have a number that there's 100 evictions per week and rising. I'd like the city to impose an eviction moratorium. Rent's gone up 53% since 2000, while the median income has only risen 29%. And we don't, it's hard living out on the streets, and we don't want any more people that have to living out there. Please do everything you can to help our homeless friends and let them live in safety. Thank you.
Happy Easter season, everyone. For 2021, I'm Bill Nesbitt at 330-379-2235 and 1155 Diagonal Road. As always, great Thanksgiving, great service. Let's add to that, though. Let's have that drop-off box of mail at our original High Street location for the aid of our citizenry, and let's reestablish our headquarters there for all. Once again, all have this great 2021 spring Easter season.
Okay. That concludes our public comments for this evening. I want to thank all those who have participated. Again, all these comments have been forwarded to the appropriate departments and to also the appropriate council person. So just encouraging all council members to please follow up on these comments received.
And we're hoping that
us an opportunity to have those conversations with our residents instead of thinking that we're all just sitting on our hands doing and saying nothing at all. I think it gives us an opportunity. I'm concerned because we passed legislation, changed our charter as it relates to body-worn camera footage, and we're talking about incidents that we know nothing about. I think as a council, we should know about them because it gives us an opportunity to have those conversations with our residents instead of thinking that we're all just sitting on our hands doing and saying nothing at all. I think it gives us an opportunity to be able to be transparent. And that's what the legislation talks about, is the transparency. I'm concerned. So, Chief Caprez, if you could give us some transparent, and that's what the legislation talks about, is the transparency. I'm concerned. So, Chief Caprez, if you could give us some insight on this, I'd appreciate it, because we living in a different time right now, and all we hear about is all the homicides in the city of Akron. But now we've got some issues with our officers is not being brought to us. So if you could address that, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, I took a note about, is it Ms. Williams' call? I'm hoping to get some additional information so that we might be able to contact her. Does anybody able to share that information?
Major Caprez, we can make sure that you get her contact information.
Great. We look at every complaint, and of course we will to this one, and attempt to gather the facts about what did or did not occur in that particular instance. And when we do, we can make that available to you all. Regarding press release that we put out about our officer today, what we shared is what we're able to share at this moment, and we do about what did or did not occur in that particular instance, and when we do, we can make that available to you all. Regarding press release that we put out about our officer today, what we shared is what we're able to share at this moment, and we do have an ongoing internal investigation, and once that is completed, we will be able to share additional information. And my understanding with regard to the legislation was that will take effect in June of this year, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct, Major Caprez. Thank you so much. Councilman.
About what did or did not occur in that particular instance, and when we do, we can make that available to you all. Regarding press release that we put out about our officer today, what we shared is what we're able to share at this moment, and we do have an ongoing internal investigation, and once that is completed, we will be able to share additional information. And my understanding with regard to the legislation was that will take effect in June of this year, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct, Major Caprez. Thank you so much. Councilman Neal?
The comment about the Merriman Valley
goes to you for you not to follow up. So council office is doing
takes us to respond
to make sure that this information goes to you and afterwards, making sure and encouraging all
to our constituents. And so this is not cast of blame, but we cannot deny that there's something dysfunctional in the way we address their concerns. So this is a beautiful opportunity for us to take the same medicine that we used with our police department and put in good systems for better governance and responding to our constituents' concerns and complaints.
Thank you so much, Councilman Neal. I do want to let you know council office does put forth a lot of time making sure that all public comments are directed to the appropriate departments and to the appropriate council people. That's why I make that announcement afterwards, making sure and encouraging all council members to follow up on these public comments. Council office does not take all the time to document and to make sure that this information goes to you for you not to follow up. So council office is doing that. And so we just need you to do your part. Thank you so much. Councilman Malik.
Thank you, Madam President. Just briefly,